long story short, Penn State was trying to go after Kalani Sitake, who is BYU's head coach. Penn State goes to Sitake and says, "We want you. We're going to give you a 6-year, $11.6 million contract." The Mormons get wind of this. The CEO of Crumble Cookie, the CEO of NutriCost, they all get in and they say, "Hey, you're not fucking leaving." So they get together and put an offer so irresistible for this guy of like, I think $9 million a year plus equity in BYU to coach their fucking football team when you've been there for 10 years already. And then he stays at BYU. And Penn State is now absolutely shafted. People are sending crumble cookies to the AD of Penn State's office. Like, what is happening in college football?
Cookie wars. The cookie wars have begun. All right. Happy Thursday morning, everybody. This is going to be a very emotional show for many, I'm sure. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We are fresh off of the Tuesday night release of who's in and who's not in the college football playoff. And depending on where you live in the United States of America, you are pissed, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Down there, down south, the southeastern corner, like really almost the furthest, most southeast point of the U.S., you're probably not very happy.
Yeah. Unless you're Pitbull, which then you don't give a shit about college football.
Nope.
You're just happy to be in Miami
soccer,
all the time.
Yeah.
But if you're not Pitbull and you love the U, you are not happy.
Yeah. I'm cooking up a conspiracy theory around the committee.
Oh, good.
It's going to depend on all the results from this week and once it's set in stone. But I have a theory as to why Notre Dame gets preferential treatment as opposed to Miami.
Let me just shortcut you here. Does the theory have anything to do with the fact that Notre Dame has a lot of money?
Has a lot of money and media rights. They have a private deal. They have a private TV deal with NBC. I have a theory that really the college football playoff is just about what will make the most money. So you're getting a firsthand look into the thing I'm going to post probably on Monday when this comes out. Notre Dame and Alabama would drive way more ratings than, let's just say, per se, Miami and Oregon. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame and Alabama would just they would do better.
Yeah, so families.
Yeah. So I'm gonna work this out. That's just a broad overview of this conspiracy I'm working on. But
wait, you're not jumping to conclusion and saying that college football is really just about how we can generate the most revenue, are you? You wouldn't dare say that this is really just about money, is it?
It's no way. They would never do this to find out the way that they could generate the most revenue from the teams that are in the playoffs and then find out a way how they can pay their players less money every year.
Huh. So wait, just walk me through this because I feel like I'm trying to connect the dots here. You're saying that money is at the backbone of every decision being made in college football?
I know. It sounds incomprehensible for that to happen, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
Wires crossed here. So it's not even about the game anymore. It's just about the dollar bill.
I know, like college football, especially in the past 3 years, has been so true to the roots. Players are going to the transfer portal to play for the team they really want to play for, and it has nothing to do with NIL deals or under the table money that these kids are getting from the school. It has nothing to do with that. And now, for some reason, this year, college football is just a money grab. Why did it all of a sudden change?
How long does college football really have until it's either nuked and stripped of all of these rules, or it just becomes GTA in real life?
Well, I did a video yesterday about this. There's two new acts that are going into Congress this week. There's a CARA Act and the SCORE Act. Basically, it's fucking crazy if you really look into it. The SCORE Act essentially gives way more power to the NCAA. And essentially what they'll be able to do is right now they pay 22% or whatever, and it's $20.5 million per school to pay the players. They can say that the money that they're paying the players is not sustainable every year and then bring that down to $5 million for all of their players. So the SCORE Act gives more power to the NCAA, whereas the CARA Act makes college football a lawless fucking wasteland. There's a I fact check this. Someone from, let's say, UCLA, you have a really big UCLA booster. They can go and be like, hey, uh, Arch Manning, we really want you to play for UCLA, but we know that you're at a blue blood program in Texas right now. We will give you $20 million for an NIL deal and just say that you were doing a marketing thing for the year. And no
On
one can bat, they can't bat a fucking eye. The NCAA can't step in. It has to be in writing, but only to protect the player, not to see if it's legal or if you look into the CARA Act, CARA, it's crazy.
This is Kara, not Karen.
It could be a
It
Karen
could be the
also.
Karen. The Karen Act actually allows you to complain right to the coach, but you can only complain if you have sort of this Bob situation,
Yep,
right? If you
yep,
if
yep,
you
yep.
if you're 50 years or older, you have this like blonde Bob kind of up here. It's like high
With
and
some like
tight.
darker streaks
Yep.
too going
It's
through it.
it's
Yep.
sort of we're not quite sure if the carpets match the drapes, and then you, dude, this sucks. I like it now, but I know that it's only gonna get worse.
It's the fact of the matter is it has to get worse before it gets better. But the number one problem surrounding all of this is these are fucking professional athletes who you just have to say they're students. Like,
Yeah, for
there's no
sure.
reason for these guys who are making $5 million a year. Some of these quarterbacks, Debonsa at BYU too. Like, there's
Mhm.
no reason to say, oh, student athletes, they can't be employees because
No,
then
they're
they can start a
pros.
union and
These
then
are
everything
pros
goes
now.
to shit.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a very Dark Knight-esque lying there. The night is darkest just before the dawn. I also think we're gonna see a lot of characters that are truly villains, and like people are going to be so driven by money. Dying a hero will be a myth. You're just going to live long enough to see yourself become a villain. This snake era has begun. Lane Kiffin was just the beginning, I think.
It was just the beginning, but the fact of what transpired yesterday between BYU Satake and Penn State is the very definition of how broken college football is.
Yeah.
Did you look into this?
I did. Yeah, I saw your tapes. I saw everything you were putting out. Why don't you give a quick two-line summary to our viewers who do not have the great pleasure of
Yeah.
following Evan Hand on social media?
Long story short, Penn State was trying to go after Kalani Sitake, who is BYU's head coach. He's getting paid $3 million a year at BYU, which is nothing for a head coach, especially in the Big 12 championship right now.
Imagine that. Nothing. $3 million
Penn
a year.
State goes to Sitake and says, we want you. We're going to give you a 6 year, $11.6 million contract. Who would not take that? The Mormons get wind of this. The CEO of Crumble Cookie, the CEO of NutriCost, they all get in and they say, hey, you're not fucking leaving. So they get together and put an offer so irresistible for this guy of like I think $9 million a year plus equity in BYU to coach their fucking football team when you've been there for 10 years already. And then he stays at BYU. And Penn State is now absolutely shafted. People are sending crumble cookies to the AD of Penn State's office. Like, the what is happening in college
Cookie
football?
wars. The cookie wars have begun.
It's it is unbelievable. It's I love it. It makes for absolute pure cinema and it makes my content that much better.
Yep.
But holy shit, it's broken.
Holy cookies, it's broken. Yeah, well, this will pair nicely with today's episode. We decided to host a cage fight between some very passionate Ole Miss and LSU fans regarding the Lane Kiffin situation. We learned a little bit about the fans themselves. I think the biggest takeaway, and this kind of goes back to our interview yesterday with Joe DeLeon, is that it seems like Lane Kiffin going to LSU was absolutely a no-brainer. I mean, I put something. It seems late last night on Wonder Fan Social saying that, like, I guess we forgot that LSU was a natty contender every year. Brian Kelly just stained the living shit out
Yep.
of the legacy. I mean,
Yep.
LSU was wide receiver you, safety you, O lineman you, D line you. I mean, the only thing they didn't have coming out every year was, I guess, like a rock star quarterback because Jamarcus Russell kind of tainted that. But Then again, you get Jaden Daniels, who leaves Arizona State, who wins the Heisman, like,
And Burrow.
and Burrow. So you forget how good LSU can be and truly how many resources is infinite at LSU when Brian Kelly comes in here and fakes an accent with his southern twang on night zero. I can't wait to get started. Like,
That was the point I made in my video today, that I think Penn State should look at him just for the bit. So he comes in his introductory conference. He's talking Pennsylvania Dutch.
yeah, what is that? Should he just like adapt? Like, should he go full yins? Just like
Just be like Amish. No, fully Amish.
Amish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could go
Yeah.
Yins. He could be a Yinzer. I think
Yins in
Pittsburgh's
26.
on like it's a little closer.
Downtown. Yep. Well, cool. All right. So right now we're going to transition into the cage fight we talked about. We hosted an Ole Miss fan. We gave him 60 seconds. We hosted an LSU fan, gave him 60 seconds, and then we let the two duke it out. Take a look. It was really fun. It's right here. We got Ryan from LSU. We got Tyler from Ole Miss. We're going to give each of you guys 60 seconds to air it out. Is Lane Kiffin a snake, or is he justified, and is this job a no-brainer? We're going to start with Ryan from LSU. Air it out. You got 60 seconds uninterrupted. We are the referees. If it goes out of bounds, don't make us get involved. You're on the clock. Go.
All right, perfect. Let me get started. So let me start just by saying that it's $100 million. Any person in the right mindset would take that in a heartbeat. Now, we got to say it. It's just a fact. The Ole Miss ceiling might be right here, but the LSU ceiling is way up here. We got to be real with that. Ole Miss has never won an SEC championship since what? Since JFK was president. That's just the bar for LSU right now. Now, we have had a rough couple of years. I'm not denying that. I think Brian Kelly was a very bad hire. I do, feel remorse for, Ole Miss fans. However, that's just the name of the game now. With NIL and NCAA, that's just how it's going to be. And he said he had gotten guidance from Saban. I mean, he talked to the GOAT himself. And if the GOAT said go there, then, you got to listen to the GOAT.
Got to listen to the GOAT. Time. Yeah. That's 60 seconds. Thank you, Ryan from LSU. Tyler from Ole Miss. Care to respond?
Yeah, so I do see a lot of the LSU fans like to bring up the money aspect to kind of justify the decision when Ole Miss did, in fact, offer him more than LSU did, and that is a fact. Ole Miss did offer him more money. But yeah, I already said all this before, but Lane, he's a traitor. He's been known as a traitor throughout his career. Numerous firings on the tarmac. Right before Alabama was about to go to I think it was national championship. He was fired by Saban, the GOAT, and he never looked back on it. And I think it takes a lot for Saban, who wants to win more than anyone, to fire someone on the tarmac. So I do think that kind of talks about the kind of guy that Lane is. But yeah, once again, I think he's a liar, as we saw a lot of when he released that statement saying that the players asked him to stay and they wanted to maintain their high level of performance with Lane. When a bunch of players came out and actually denied that and said that he was lying.
Time. All right. We're going to do 60 seconds of a Zoom cage fight. So you guys can interrupt each other, go back and forth. You have 60 seconds. Let it all out. We are the referees. We do not want to get involved, but we will if we have to. You both are on the clock now. 60 seconds of cage fighting. Go.
We got to start with the rebuttal. I'm going to be real with you. Ole Miss's bar is not the same place as LSU's. I'm not saying LSU is the highest in the SEC and by any sense, but it's damn near close to top programs like Bama and Georgia. Ole Miss is down here. I'm going to be real with you. And I'm impressed with how he's really turned y'all program around over the last 6 years. It is very impressive. And I think that's why he was the front runner for our new head coach position.
I agree in terms of historical information that LSU's program is up here to Ole Miss, but I don't think it's like that anymore. As we've seen, we beat you guys this year. We beat you guys the year before last year. I think it's just a new wave. The LSU's, the Alabamas, they don't just kind of conquer everyone like they used to, and that's just because of the NIL and how it is. Uh, I
5 seconds.
I do think the only reason Lane left is because you guys gave him more money for the roster, and you guys kind of just got on your hands and knees for
Well,
Lane
we have
because
more
we're in
ability
a
to win. That's just the truth.
LSU is in a desperate
It's just the truth.
situation, and they're willing to just throw it all at
So
Lane.
we've had a rough couple of years, but we just have
And
to.
time.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you both so much. This was great. You will see this on social media. You will see this on our YouTube. You guys were fantastic. Ryan from LSU, Tyler from Ole Miss. Thank you for airing it out. Hope this helped in your therapeutic sessions going forward.
Yeah.
Tyler and LSU. Ryan, I hope you're excited for years to come. It could be short-lived. It could be great. We're back. That's why we were wearing ref gear. Not just because we absolutely love the art of officiating. I don't. I'm getting pretty sick of refs throwing their personalities into the game. That's one thing I need to continue to harp on. We shouldn't know the names of officials. Like, a referee is sort of like, in many ways, just a street sign. I mean, all they are is just keeping you in play and making sure you don't get lost, right? You shouldn't know that Scott Foster has a specific record against the spread whenever Chris Paul or Draymond Green or Jimmy Butler play near him. That's a crazy stat that should not exist. There should be no opinions. It's not like this ref is like a turf. It's like the turf field, grass field. It's like it should be the same. There shouldn't be any existing conditions that are different than the rest, right?
But wrong. Some refs are just worse than others. They call things differently.
But that's crazy. That's what. Then why not have the worst ref? If it was up to me and there was a known distinction that some refs are dog water and other refs are nails, why would you ever even have a game in the nearest vicinity of the dog shit ref? You should just bid for the best refs, right?
There must be a ref shortage. We must be short of refs at this juncture.
Well, we're clearly not short of money. After all, the Karen Act and the Score Act and the Screw the Game Acts are going in. I have so many questions and not enough coffee right now.
I think an ultimate solution for refs is, I said this actually like a couple years ago, there should be a ref draft. Like,
yes.
you should have to work your way up.
And then if you don't get drafted, you have to join the military and get sent to the Middle East.
Okay.
Oh, no, is that not what you meant by draft? Because I think we should send them away and go fight our wars.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe they could.
And then also, you should, if you get a bad call, you should just leapfrog the whole war and just actually be sent straight to Guantanamo Bay.
Okay. We'll get that into motion.
Yeah, I'll start right now. Anytime we watch a Warriors-Rockets game, there should be an immediate meeting between the officials doing that game and the director of recruiting for Guantanamo Bay. And I mean, not just like, like you should work the door, like whoever recruits like the terrorist. I think it is cool. I'm digressing. I'm so mad. I have so many thoughts that can't.
You know what that was? That was our daily Bay Area Cope of the day, presented by Wonder Fan.
Yep. This next part, we are actually diving into one of our other wars right now. As many of you know, I have an ongoing civil conflict with Dog Bears. We're bringing in Joey from All Things Chicago Sports. He's got a show on Believe Network. He's got a sweet last name, Christopoulos, right?
I think
right?
so.
I think I got it right.
Probably not Greek at all.
No. All right, we just wrapped refereeing Ole Miss fans and LSU fans, but we're going to keep that same energy going. We got Joey talking Big Ten and the Bears repping all things Midwest sports on the Wonder Fan Show, which is perfect because I'll tee things off right down the middle here. I don't think the Bears have a very long lifespan going forward. I think this 9-3 leading the NFC. I think this, we're looking at dead men walking and I don't get too attached.
Okay, well, that's fair, right? Because there is a body of work that would suggest that the Chicago Bears have gotten, what do we call, a little lucky this year, right? Like, if you roll the clocks back a year ago, they were losing Fail Marys, and they couldn't handle timeouts. And this year, Jane Daniels is like fumbling a snap, right?
Right.
But I will say that I told myself that last week's game against the Eagles was going to be a contenders versus pretenders type matchup.
Yes.
And if they got blown out by the Eagles, I was willing to go right in lockstep with you that they are pretenders. Now, they kicked the absolute crap out of the Eagles, right? They ran it down their throats, 281 rushing yards. At the very least, I would just counter and push back and say that I think they're becoming a solid football team over the last couple of weeks. Huge test this Sunday against the Packers. Still got to play the Lions, who put up a 52 burger on them earlier this year. They got to go to San Francisco. The Browns matchup might be a little sneaky, right? Because Myles Garrett's going to have 55 sacks by the end of the season.
Yeah.
So look, contender, pretender, it's somewhere in the middle right now. I don't think that they are dead because they're sitting at 9 wins. And I'm telling you, for a team that lost 10 games in a row last year, the fact that we're even at 9 right now, it's a fun place to be. I'm not going to push back too hard because I feel like we're on a gravy train right now. The Bears are 9-3, and I'm just super happy about it.
That's the one thing I will say. And I love the attitude, and that's why I love Chicago fans. I am not an enemy of the state here. I love Chicago. I went to Indiana. I'm a diehard Hoosier, and I respect the hell.
Good luck this weekend. Oh, that's my Big Ten. There you go.
Thank you. I respect the hell out of Bears fans. I got thousands of Bears fans. They're great people, but I think beating Philly in Philly only deepens the wound, right? Because I just think, because you guys were ready. I'm sure every Bears fan was like, oh, this is the week. This is the week. The Bears finally let us down. We're going to actually lose the Eagles. And the fact that you beat the Eagles in Philly, I think raises the hope just a little bit higher. And I just, that's exactly my point. It's just like, that might have been the worst thing that happened to the Bears, is beating Philly in the aviary, in the birdcage. So
that's possible, man. That's definitely possible to get your hopes up. And look, it could all come crashing down, right? But this was supposed to be a transition year. I'm feeling pretty good about where we are, at least incrementally, with Ben Johnson working with Caleb Williams right now. And look, I'll be honest with you, I got the Bears losing to the Packers this weekend in Lambeau because I think they're going to split this season. So I'm with you that maybe a step back. You know, we've won 9 out of our last 10 games, dude. We're 9-1 in our last 10 games. Something's got to give, right? Something's got to come back to the norm. So I totally understand that. But again, this is a mediocre NFL season. I can't remember the last time I've seen less teams that I were scared of than any other year possible. I wanted to do the Rams, but then they just got beat by the Panthers, right? So I think there's a lot of parity going on right now. I think the Eagles are a mess, frankly. I think it was more to do with the Eagles than it maybe had to do with the Bears, the way that they played. So fortune favors the bold for the Bears right now, and they could be that horseshoe team that maybe wins a playoff game. I'm not picking that they're going to the Super Bowl, but I think that's the ceiling for this team, and that's my hopes and dreams that I go to sleep at night with.
Love it. Respect. Anything to chime in, Evan?
Very, very rational take from a Bears fan. We've had a lot of hatred from the Bears lately, especially with Henry's stance.
Yeah, we've had some colorful messages hit our DM inbox for sure.
Delusional is a word that we can use. I'm just kind of happy that we're out of the woods. I mean, things were getting really bleak and really dark, and for a franchise that had absolutely no idea what it was doing for many, many years, for them to just somehow hit the lottery with Ben Johnson, who's at least bringing in a stability and bringing in a great coaching staff to help turn this thing around a little bit. I'm definitely in prove-it mode because I've been pissed off for years. Like, just because they're playing good right now doesn't mean that it wipes away all the sins and scars that I've had to endure over the Matt Eberflus era of the last 3 years. So it's still a little bit of prove-it mode for me with the Chicago Bears, but I got to say I am enjoying the ride.
Yeah, it's like being a Jets fan. You know, if we ever start succeeding, I'm going to be waiting. I'm like, when is the time where we mess this all up? You know?
Show me. Where's the ring? Put a ring on it. Whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
I will say I will bend the knee with all this Bears, because I don't want to be an enemy of Chicago. I'd like this war to stop. The engagement right now that we're getting, I'm sure more people in Chicago see my face and just feel some sort of resentment than anything else. I prefer that to end. Exactly. This guy, the Bears hate this guy. So I would love to bend the knee if the Bears beat the Packers. I will forego all of it. I will say I'm sorry. If the Bears win in Lambeau this weekend, yeah, it's over. The war is over. I will bend.
If they win, I'll come back on the show and I'll be as insufferable as you want me to be. That's when I go nuts. I'll open up the can of absolute insufferability if the Bears win at Lambeau this weekend. I think they're going to fall a bit short, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, we're not the 85 Bears. We're not the 76 Dolphins. You can lose a game. I think this team has a lot to prove. The defense really isn't very good. They're riding the offensive line in takeaways right now. One of them is sustainable. The other one isn't. So losing a game in Lambeau this weekend wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for them to hopefully continue to play more solid football down the stretch.
Yeah, and so likewise, if the Bears lose, I'll bend the knee. I'll happily take your insufferability. If the Bears win, vice versa. If the Bears lose, I'm this much closer to being right. Right just before you go, who do you got this weekend? Ohio State, Indiana.
I got it being an absolute awesome watch. Can I start there and at least say that? The part that I was always wondering about with Ohio State is, and what's so interesting about them is I just think they have this amazing core of Bo Jackson, Jeremiah Smith, and Julian Sayin right now. And the one variable to that was Julian Sayin is still a true freshman. When was he going to have his egg? When was he going to have his stinker? And he was on the path to doing that. He threw that pick early against Michigan last week. And I was saying, oh, is this the time? Is this the moment? I'm going to say that I'm going to remove him from this equation because it's going to be running game versus running game. And I think Indiana's got a great shot at this. I really do. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Indiana's defensive line. I think they're tough. I think they're incredibly physical. I think they can make it a game where they're going to have to force Julian Sayin to make some throws that aren't the wide open, easy throws that he's been locking into and nailing all season long. His completion percentage is 79%. That's because it's just playing off of the play action and all the amazing talent wide receivers they have on the outside. The thing with Indiana, and you saw this last year, it's going to be how they start, right? Jeremiah Love punched them in the throat last year, and that was it. They were donezo. They were done. They have to get off to a strong start and get that Psycho Signetti offensive vibe rolling to hang in this game. If all of a sudden you see Ohio State's defensive line getting after Mendoza, knocking him around, getting him off of his step, getting him off of his spot, they start hurrying some throws, I think the game can kind of get out of control because Ohio State's defense is absolutely legit. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to lean Ohio State right now. I'm leaning Ohio State, but I do think Indiana is going to put up a strong performance. And honestly, it might be the best thing for them because if you look at the way that the bracket is kind of shaking out right now, I like the path for Indiana right now with A&M sliding in there all of a sudden. I don't know if Georgia is legit or not with Gunnar Stockton. So I think Indiana can really compete. The problem is Ohio State's defense is so damn good right now. It's really going to depend on that Indiana fast start that I don't know is going to come. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go 23 Ohio State, 17 Indiana right now.
So to quote my favorite movie character of all time, Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber, you're saying there's a chance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Signetti's a psycho, man. They kept coming at Oregon, right? And I'm not saying Oregon's defense is the same as Ohio State's, but the defensive line for both of those teams has that same size and physicality, that big boy, like quasi SEC type style. And Indiana brought it to him, man, and kept coming and kept scoring and took care of business. I get it a couple months ago, early on in the year, but a Dan Lanning program, that's nothing to wag your finger at. The problem with me is just Ohio State's defense is playing such great football right now. It is a suffocating unit. I think Indiana can match it. I love, I love the outside receivers. They got like multiple running backs that they can throw at you. I think Mendoza can make the throws. It's just, for me, it's just a huge matchup. Can Indiana get off to that fast start to play Psycho Signetti football? That's the only key for me in the game. And I think if it's tight and it's close in that first quarter, I do think Ohio State's going to be able to hang on there and stick it out. But Indiana's for real. They are legit, and I would love to see a rematch for sure.
Evan, anything to say?
I totally agree with Joey here. I think Ohio State's going to pull it off. I love Indiana. I would love for Indiana to beat Ohio State. I simply just don't think it's going to happen. I don't.
Knife to the heart.
I hear so much about the Niners and Indiana, but I'm against both of them. Unfortunately.
Hang tight. Bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry, Henry, this year. It ain't about the Big Ten championship anymore.
Exactly.
It's about winning playoff games in the
Mm-hmm.
CFP12. I like the slate of I like the slate of teams that they might have to possibly play. So losing this one and staying in the 2 slot, I don't think is going to be the worst thing to happen. Now the committee could hate them and bump them around on that, but I still think they're going to get that bye. I don't know.
Even if you lose, that's arguably better for Indiana. Like Ohio State last year lost to Michigan, they end up winning the whole thing. This could be Indiana's Michigan from last year if you go Ohio State.
Sure. Yeah. I guess maybe the truth does hurt a little bit, but you know what? That's fine. Hey, thank you so much, Joey, for jumping on. We appreciate you. We know you got to bounce. Where can we find you? Where can we tell viewers to traffic towards your way?
Easiest way, you can follow me on socials at Joey Sports Guy, or also you could check out CHGO Sports. I host a CHGO Cubs podcast and also the All Big Ten podcast for the All City Network. All you gotta do, hop on YouTube, type in those things, CHGO Sports or All Big Ten podcast. You can check out our show, throw on a like, and thanks for having me, guys. Happy to do it again.
Awesome. We will bring you back if the Bears win, or if they lose, I will be in your ear. Peace out.
Go Bears. Happy Hoosiers.
It was nice and respectful.
Very nice. Very knowledgeable guy too. I'm really surprised at the stance he had for the Bears.
He was diplomatic. He really was.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's almost like these guys we talk to are experts.
Yeah, we're not that good. I think every Bears fan technically is just like that guy, where deep down, because we've seen in years past, this is what Bears do. They get the hopes up and they find some way to have diarrhea run down their leg. I think this year's a little different because they're actually competent now. But like I just said, that Eagles game might have been the worst thing possible for Bears fans because it gets the bar just a little higher. Because you said it. He said this was the game. Are we pretenders or are we contenders? And I think they now think they're contenders. But you and I both know that Philly is a shell of themselves right now.
Yeah, I think once they fire their OC and they don't egg his house and vandalize his house,
right,
a lot's going to change. You can't have the highest paid offense in the league and then you're 20th and below ranked in every category. But I agree. Philly is a shell of themselves, but you did still beat Philly in Philly.
You did. And like, you can't go out here and like erase wins. Like, I'm sure the Niners are, all roads lead back to Levi's. Like, we beat Seattle week 1. We beat the Rams in LA. Those are 2 games that we will never give away. Will it happen again? Can we beat Seattle in Seattle again? We might have to. Can we beat the Rams in LA? We might have to. Will we get it done? I don't know. Probably not tonight because they're not playing tonight. We will get it done. Of course we will. All right. Any closing remarks for you, Evan?
Nothing for me. I think we had a little tameness with the LSU Ole Miss guys. I was maybe hoping for a little more back and forth, but this was the first iteration, so maybe we'll have a Penn State fan come on and air their grievances next time.
It did seem like they both want to have a future and have a career after today. And I guess I belittled both Ole Miss and LSU fans to thinking that they were ready to risk it all.
Agreed.
In a 5-minute conversation. They didn't. They were smart. That actually warms my heart a little bit, that we didn't just hear the most vicious, awful things today, and that the refs, it wasn't a ref show today. We kept the game in bounds and we just moved it along.
Yeah, perhaps we take these people off camera and we add like a voice filter in the back end, so they have anonymity, whatever.
Yeah,
and they can say whatever they want within reason.
Yeah, maybe we AI it and make it vicious, and so that way we get a lawsuit from both of their families. And then that actually adds to the layer of controversy because, as we all know, all press is good press. I learned that from Penn State. Cosby, all these guys are pros at just getting the eyeballs.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been a fabulous edition of the Wonder Fan Show. Wonder Fan is the only app that pays you to be a fan. This is the Wonder Fan Show, courtesy of the Wonder Fan app. Download Wonder Fan, earn rewards just for being a fan. No one else is giving you an opportunity to be a fan and get paid. Wonder Fan does. And
Time to go.
This is
Yeah.
all right.
Wrap
See you
it up.
guys.
Yeah.